all over your face. And boom, we're up.
Hey.
Alrighty, boys. Welcome once again. Thank you for bearing with us during our little intermission between FIDD-F2 and FIDD-F1. We are ready to go, covering the first of the FIDD leagues that Ben and I are both in. So a little bit different. This is... It might be fair to say that this is the most competitive FIDD league environment of the four, or I guess of the five now, including M2, of the five at the moment. Because I really feel like you can make a case for over half the league that, hey, things break just right. They get even a little bit of help, they could be in the championship game. So anyway, Ben, why don't you lead us off here, buddy? What do you think with these quarterbacks? Because I got some things to say about these quarterbacks.
Well, I'm just realizing that I had Mike listed at both second and eighth. I confused myself, and I hadn't put my own team on this list at all. So,
if anyone could pull that off, it's Mike. Okay.
Oops, I don't know how that happened.
He got Kate Otten sold for a first. He's capable of incredible things.
Well, do you want to go through position by position like we have been doing?
I think that's our best bet.
Right.
Stick with the one we brung to the dance.
At quarterback, I've got 24 in the top spot with Burrow, Herbert, Bo Nix, and Spencer Rattler. You went with yourself with Dak, Love, Levis, and Drake May. A bit ambitious.
And Gino. And Darnold. Okay? Don't try to act like they're not going to be the week one starters, pal. You might not like it, but accept it.
Love carrying a lot of water in that breakdown.
Buddy, Dak was like the QB4 last year, pal, okay? I know you don't like it, but accept it.
I do think Burrow's going to have a big year. Burrow, Herbert is pretty good. Dak, Love, Levis isn't bad. I put you at number 4. I had
sacrilege.
Josh Allen, Bryce Young at number 2, and number 3, Lamar, AR. Josh Allen, Bryce Young may be a little bit high though.
Tainted by your own hopium on Bryce Young. You hate to see it, folks. You really do.
I'll move you up to 3.
Now we're talking. Thank you, Bubala. All right, so I went with myself for 1 because Dak Love, I feel are proven. Levis May, there's a lot of potential there, and Gino Darnold's a lot of value. I mean, we'll get to the effects that my quarterback situation is having on the rest of the league as we kind of work our way down here, because I noticed I had a lot of trouble ranking these quarterbacks, and I realized, kind of came to me in a fever dream, why that was a few days ago. All right, so myself at 1. I had 24 all the way down to like 4 at one point, but in struggling with these quarterbacks, I eventually, through attrition, he floated up to 2 because, I mean, Burrow, Herbert, Nix, that's 3 franchise quarterbacks, probably. Certainly if the Broncos' plans go according to plan, nobody else can really say that, and we're about to find out why. So I had to let 24 get to 2. I went back and forth. This was one of the hardest ones I've had so far, was Rish versus Electrixz, their quarterback situations. I finally had to let it be Rish just because Hurts and T-Law have been paid. Lamar has been paid for Electrixz, but AR hasn't. There's still an outside chance shit goes just completely sideways for AR, and he doesn't wind up with a second contract. It's very unlikely. I like Richardson. I like Richardson the most of those 4 quarterbacks, honestly. And that includes Hurts, okay? I mean, I want Richardson so bad. But lust is not love. Lust is not security. So yeah, I had to let Rish get ahead of him. Yeah, what do you think? Where Rish versus, I mean, and also Rish has AOC, which he's probably not going to start, but there's a chance. What do you think? Rish versus Electrixz versus whoever you had Rish all the way down at 5.
Yeah, I'm looking at Rish. I've got him way down at 5 with he's got Hurts and T-Law. I went with Electrixz, Luke. Mike is up there higher. 24 Electrixz. Yeah, we're not far off on it, but
Yeah.
I went with the Josh Allen, Bryce Young there, and again, I was just rearranging those. I haven't looked at these in a while. Hurts T-Law.
There's an outside chance that Stidham starts week 1. It's like 10% chance, but it could happen.
Hurts is pretty good, but he's no Josh Allen. T-Law is somebody who I don't really get excited about, but I feel like Bryce Young's doing a lot of heavy lifting in that analysis there as well. So maybe I'm gonna move Rish up to 4 and Mike down to 5.
Ooh. I mean,
So that gets me more in line with where you're at. Our biggest difference is on Electrixz, and that's about the same difference that we have on you. We've both got Mike at 5, and then at 5, and then Bronc at 6 with Mahomes and Jaden Daniels. Interesting room. He's got Mahomes, so that goes a long way. It's hard.
I think Russ is going to start 14 games, so you got to mention Russ.
Oh yeah, Russ. I feel like you don't. If Russ was the QB2 on any of these rosters, we would knock that pretty hard.
Yeah, for sure. Because
not on any of these rosters. On some of these rosters, Russ would be a giant improvement over.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
QB2.
I mean,
but generally speaking, he's not somebody you're excited to have in that spot.
Yeah, but Russ is a quality 3 for sure. There is a I call it a 50-50 that Russ gets a contract renewal with Pittsburgh in 2025. We'll see. Yeah, so I mean we've got the same top 6 in slightly moved around. Me struggling with Lou's roster is going to be a running theme here. Kyler Stafford Cousins sure feels like it belongs in the top 6. That's rough. But Stafford and Cousins are not spring chickens. Kyler, we've been over the moon and back again on him in Dynasty over the last 3 years. It feels like, I couldn't push him higher than 7, and I couldn't let him lower than 7, so he wound up at 7.
Yeah, for me, Mahomes and Josh Allen are just going to be really hard to put below that squad, even though I do like Kyler this year.
Yeah, Mahomes is coming off of a down year statistically, but he was the Dynasty QB1 consensus going into last year. So, yeah, he's probably due for a bounce back, especially with Worthy and Hollywood. All right, then who do we have at 8? We both had you at 8. What are you doing, man? Like you're all in. Your balls to the wall. You clonked 24 over the head for Brees. You're bulletproof everywhere else. And then if Tua starts throwing gang signs on the turf in Cincinnati again, it's over.
No.
It's over.
No. Look,
too much risk.
I had a plan.
Too much risk.
The plan was to get a quarterback in the draft. That's not the way that the draft went. The pick I got turned out to not be the perfect pick for landing a quarterback. So I ended up a little thin. The 102 was a real burden in this draft. The quarterback's super expensive, and I've watched people win leagues too often just threading the needle with no backstop. So I took value where I could find it, and there's no value to be at a quarterback in this league. You're just going to get hosed up and down to even get your hands on anybody. I lost both my hands to get Bryce Young in the other league, so it's just too expensive. To go shopping at QB, and I think I got an incredible value in that Purdy deal, so I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. I can start.
Well, you did.
Darnell Mooney in my super flex if it comes to it.
You can start Marvin Harrison Jr. in your super flex if you have to. Yeah, you're sitting pretty at the end of the world, but yeah, Tua Goff is rock solid. They're both kind of blue collarish. Obviously no rushing floor, no rushing value add, but could both be top 12 options. So I can't hardly sneeze at it. From that point on, though, is where the quarterbacks get pretty hinky. You had Nate. I'm surprised that you had Nate higher. Nate has Caleb, Deshaun, Penix.
He's got Minshew
Yeah,
too. Don't sleep on Minshew down there,
Minshew,
and Aaron Rodgers. That's pretty good depth.
It's a real quarterback battle in Vegas now. Like, I thought like, well, they're gonna say it's a battle, but it's gonna be Minshew because they gave him some money. No, it's a real. It could really go either way now. So Minshew's stock is down a little bit. But yeah, he's got Caleb Deshaun. You know, that starts for sure. He's got Rodgers. So, I mean, really, it's not bad. And in this league, it should be higher. But who do you move down for this? Like, as much as I love Caleb, and a lot of people love Caleb, it's the Bears. It's the Bears, and he's very polarizing, and you never know. And I mean, obviously, you know my crazy 5G tinfoil hat thesis on Deshaun. And then I mean Rodgers is 48 years old, so but it's not bad. It's you can win with this. You really can.
If I had to guess right now, I'd say that probably AOC and Minshew are both going to play in Vegas this year, just because neither one of them is going to be good enough to hold that job down. I mean, if AOC wins it out of camp, I can't imagine they're going to win enough games for Minshew to not get on the field.
I kind of suspect that a tie would go to Minshew, just like because he's the veteran, and you know, Antonio Pierce, like he does not have acres of runway here. Like he needs to prove that this is a worthwhile venture for the Raiders to stick with him beyond 2024. So he needs to win now. So he's gonna put out the guy that helps them do that. If the Raiders start 1-3, then maybe they turn to AOC. I mean, I do think AOC at this point, you know, probably starts 10 games to Minshew's 7 or something like that. Anyway, so Nate's quarterback room is fine, but the quarterbacks plus the running backs is where it really starts to go to shit. You like that one? Who did I have at 9? See, this one I changed Alex's rank at least 7 times, and the reason I had so much trouble is because so many people are riding on 2 or less quarterbacks, because I have 6 week 1 starting quarterbacks in this league. I mean, that's just math. Like that really limits the number of quarterbacks that everyone else can have. And yeah, I mean, Alex shouldn't have. He's still suffering for the Lance pick, obviously. But I mean, there is a chance. There's definitely a chance that Howell starts 4 games at some point in 2024. It's possible. Seahawks fall out of it. And I couldn't, having Stroud, I couldn't put him lower than 9. And keep in mind, he was lucky to get Stroud for Burrow in a heist on 24. He could be sitting on Burrow and nothing else, which is I'd be a little less into that. And I'm in the minority there. But yeah, I couldn't have him lower than 9 with Stroud because that's just such a foundational piece. But I mean, whatever. Alex doesn't want to get ripped off by me buying a quarterback from me, which I respect. But he should. I mean, his team. I think his team is old. He can compete everywhere else. He's bulletproof at running back. We'll get to that. The receivers are kind of like Lou's. You know, they're fine. And he's rock solid at tight end. I don't understand the rationale. Go get Baker Mayfield. Just do it. Like, go get somebody. Get Aaron Rodgers. But he's either loath to do it or he's slow playing it. Which, whatever. We still have a lot of time. It is almost July.
Yeah, Howell is the most valuable quarterback who might not play a snap in 2024. So he's a great asset to have in the QB room, but without 2 QBs, it's really hard to get ranked higher.
Howell is the most valuable quarterback that might not play a snap, or might not start a game. He'll probably play at least a snap.
Oh, that's true. He'll probably play a snap. That's true.
Right, but he's the most valuable if Geno struggles with the new volume heavy offense that's probably coming in Seattle.
Well, I think that Howell could end up being the quarterback there next year, the year after. He's definitely a good fantasy asset to have on your bench. He showed enough
if Geno throws for 4,500 yards, 30 touchdowns, and the Seahawks go like 9-8, 10-7, I'm not going to assume Howell's the guy in 2024, 2025. Could be. I mean, they clearly like him. They paid more for him than the Steelers paid for Fields, but he's an uncertain asset at this point. All right, so I'm higher on
Geno is as well, though.
Oh, for sure. I'll be honest. I mean, I want to sell Geno. I'm not looking to die with my Geno boots on in this league, but I need him to go out there and drop 350 yards in week 1 before I can probably move on. All right, speaking of moving on, who else? Schooler. Oof, poor Schooler. So this is why if you're drafting a Superflex Dynasty team for the first time, you listen to other people, okay? He just went by the Fantasy Index cheat sheets, which is fine, except he wound up with win now veterans at running back, win now veterans at wide receiver, TJ Hawkinson at tight end, and Justin Fields and fuck all else at quarterback. Like, why would you do that? You wouldn't do it if you knew what you were doing. So
he did really good in getting Jordan Travis, though, to kind of start to turn the corner potentially on that.
Was me.
And
that was me.
And he paid a high price for Purdy, but again, quarterback is expensive in this league. And without Purdy, this team would be a complete train wreck.
Actually, the quarterback market in this league is probably the most reasonable of the FIDDs. But yeah, I killed him on Carr. We didn't know it at the time, but we suspected it. I killed him on Carr. You killed him on Purdy. You killed his whole family on Purdy.
He still got Purdy out of the deal.
I mean, that's not. He definitely wants Purdy. Don't get me wrong. Purdy, Carr, Fields. I mean, we'll see about Fields. Obviously, he's kind of stuck with him and hoping. And Travis. I mean, Travis is a solid lottery ticket. So yeah, Purdy, Carr. I want to get hurt again. Apparently, I'm very intrigued with Derek Carr in fantasy in 2024. I think Purdy Carr is probably not that far from Tua Goff, honestly, which is why, he's only a couple spots behind. And then, we both agree Ann Flank is super fucked with J.J. McCarthy, Baker Mayfield, and Jacoby Brissett, and Daniel Jones. Oh, my God. Yeah. The ghost of Sanj is still very visible from space on this roster.
I'm wondering if by my own metrics I shouldn't rank that team higher than Alex because he has 2 day 1 starters on that team. But
yes,
not much to be excited
starters.
about.
Let's talk about day 3. Let's talk about
McCarthy. If he's going to be playing, if he starts, that's a pretty good wide receiver group to be throwing to. So
McCarthy's not going to start. I mean, it's that
Baker has the same obviously legendary wide receiver group that he's throwing to.
McCarthy's not.
Daniel Jones has.
Everyone knows that. Ben.
Has Slayton.
They drafted somebody.
Oh yeah, neighbors.
No.
I was just thinking about his.
Talking about Bryce Ford Wheaton.
Yeah. I was just talking about his wide receiver 1 for the last 2 seasons.
Slayton. Yeah, that's not great. Not great. All right, running backs. Let's get to it. We did not agree on the running backs. We were way far. Holy shit, we were far apart on the running backs.
I think.
Who did I?
Did I give myself? Yeah, I ranked myself really lowly here, so I'm gonna have to reconsider this while you talk about it.
All right, let me sell you on you, okay, Ben? Let me tell you what I see. This is gonna be like a real life episode of the movie Hitch, starring Will Smith and Kevin Smith, the Smith brothers. Anyway, what's that guy's name from King of Queens? Kevin
James.
Kevin James. That's it. James Smith. All right. So Brees, Kamara, Brian Robinson, Jerome Ford, and I mean they don't have like week 1 value, but Blake Corum and Marshawn Lloyd are the best rookie running backs outside of like Jonathan Brooks, Trey Benson. Everybody likes Lloyd. Clearly, every Kyron owner wants Blake Corum quite badly. Ray Davis even potentially has some value. You cleared house at running back later in this draft. Brees, Kamara, Ford, Brian Robinson, and Ford to me, like, basically in me saying that you have the number 1 running back room is me saying that yes, I think Brees should be the number 1 overall running back in Dynasty right now, and I think Ford is gonna be the guy, or he'll be certainly a guy that is solidly flex playable for most of the year there.
Plus, I've got Chubb.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. Certainly, after Thanksgiving, anything's possible with this guy. I'm absolutely not counting on him playing any football in 2024, but that's me. A lot of people disagree. So that versus, who did I have at 2? At 2, I had Bijan, Etienne, Pacheco, which that's fantastic. Electrix's running backs are not a problem, but after that, Kendry Miller is not startable anytime soon. Lobby, Braylon Allen, Dante Foreman. I mean, there's no depth past Pacheco at all. There's a hard edge to that running back group. After that, I had CMC Jacobs Pollard, Singletary, which is very nice, but again, bottom falls out of it. None of those other guys, Blake Watson, Eric Gray, Damian Pierce, it's very possible none of them are playable at any point in 2024. And I don't like Singletary at all. Pollard I kind of like, but there's a lot of risk there, obviously. So, I mean, CMC Jacobs, that's probably my favorite 1-2 punch in the entire league. But you got to have depth at running back. At least that's my opinion. And trying to get some daylight between Brees Kamara and friggin' Bijan Etienne and that, going to go with depth. Then after that, Alex with JT Saquon. And then some decent depth. I mean, Zeke, everyone's like, oh, Zeke, value scam. Yeah. It could be.
Oh, no, for sure. Zeke's good value.
Trey Sermon, which backstops his JT ownership nicely.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's got Shipley, which backstops his Saquon ownership nicely. So I actually had this running back room as high as 2. And then just because there's a real drop-off from Saquon to Zeke and a lot of speculative pieces after that, I wound up putting it at 4. But it could easily be anywhere between 2 and 4. But yeah, just the fact that you have real top end talent with Brees, and I think Alvin Kamara is going to be fantastic in 2024. I think he could easily wind up having like a top 4 finish in fantasy this year. Would not surprise me at all with a Shanahan disciple in town and his proven chops as a pass catching running back. So yeah, and then after that, I mean, I know I'm knocking Mike pretty hard with putting him at 5 when he's headlined by Gibbs and Kyron, but talk about no depth after that. All he's got is Rico Dowdle. That's fucking it. I don't believe in J.K. Dobbins. Cam Akers isn't even on a team. CEH, like what the fuck are we talking about? Roshan's Jag City. Anyway, I'll let me take a breath and you talk about what you see here.
I think that listening to you talk about it, basically, I think the difference in the way that we rank the top 5 here is just a difference in philosophy. And you're certainly right in Dynasty, building depth and especially depth at running back is great value. As you've seen in a lot of the trades that have gone down in these leagues, you can sell running backs for more than they're worth. So they're a great thing to have depth at, and it's also obtainable. Unlike quarterback, you don't have to sell your soul to get depth at running back. But in redraft, my philosophy for a few years running has been you need one really good running back, you need a really competitive RB2, and then you need an RB3 who's going to be startable. And beyond that, I'm not really too concerned with running back depth. And that will come out and bite you from time to time, but especially in the way we format our rosters, wide receiver is just really valuable and should be stacked. So I'm really looking more at the 1-2, and then I want you to have a 3, and then I'm sort of just judging on that because personally I probably never want to be starting a running back in my flex spot. If I'm having my druthers, all 3 of my flex spots are going to be wide receivers. So basically I'm just weighing it out by who's 1-2 I like the best, and then so like Ian got knocked all the way down to 4 because he doesn't really have a 3, but CMC Jacobs I like a lot. JT Saquon is probably the best 1-2 here, but Gibbs Kyron is darn good as well. Just no RB3 at all, like you said. And for me, for 1, I had JT Barkley. For 2, I had Gibbs Kyron. Oh no, yeah, I did put them really high. Maybe I should rethink that one. Gibbs, I'm just really, really into Gibbs right now.
Which is fair.
No reason not to. CMC Jacobs is probably better than Gibbs Kyron. So
Gibbs could score more touchdowns than David Montgomery. That wouldn't super surprise me because he's better. Like probably David Montgomery will have more rushing touchdowns, but the Lions love Gibbs and they like David Montgomery, and Gibbs is better. So. But I'm just
doing a little adjusting there on my rankings.
I feel like you started talking pretty redraft centric which is fine.
Yeah.
I mean, we're
Well, we are previewing this year, so it's
right.
about which team we like the best for the 2024 season.
But if Christian McCaffrey tears his ACL in week 15, that's gonna fuck this team up past 2024.
That's true.
On top, they're more sensitive to long term. The teams that I put behind you are more sensitive to like a Nick Chubb type injury, which obviously Nick Chubb jumped up and bitching the beanbag, and you're still rolling. You were able to withstand it.
Yeah, and going with running back in the draft here was really just what came to me at my picks. I wasn't necessarily like a strategy. I just, I was like, well, I'm up and let's see what's here. A bunch of flyers at wide receiver or one of the best running backs in the draft. I guess I'm going to go running back here.
You got some real honey value at multiple spots in that startup. I was really disgusted at the time. Imagine if that didn't happen. You'd have Brees, Chubb, Kamara, Brian Robinson. Jesus.
Well, if Chubb hadn't gotten injured, I might not have gone out and done that Brees deal.
True. Butterfly flaps its wings. True.
Actually, if I had gotten it at that exact same offer, I still would have done it.
Right.
It was pretty good. It was a pretty good deal.
He's still Brees either way. All right, So we touched on everybody down to 24, who we both had at 6. And I put it at 6 just because he's got a lot of guys. But does he really have a dog here? I really don't know if he does. Guarendo, I mean, they're talking about like if he's lucky, he'll be the kick returner for the Niners in 2024. Like Guarendo is basically on like Jordan Mason status at this point. I hate James Cook. I really do. Like I'm tired of the fucking conspiracy narrative. Like, oh, he's gonna start scoring touchdowns this year. No, he's not. Like why? Why would they're gonna just stop doing the most effective thing, which is letting Josh Allen just pile drive the ball into the end zone? No, they're not. They're not. And Kenneth Walker, I'm skittish about. Brooks, you're gonna tell me that a rookie running back coming off of an ACL tear in late November is going to outright kill this guy, Chuba Hubbard, who was a tank for them down the stretch on a bad team. He gave them respectability that they previously did not have at running back. Miles Sanders was a disaster. I don't buy that Hubbard disappears. I don't buy that Brooks has a free and clear runway to running back 2 production. Not in the first half. Charbonnet, I mean, it's nice that he has the yin to K-Walk's yang there, but you have to get any value out of him, you got to start them both, and that's another spot in your starting lineup that's spoken for. So he's got a lot of guys that things could break well for them. I'm almost tempted to rank this group lower, honestly, because I see you just moved him down. Because but like Bronc's. And as much as I love Achane, like the Bronx running back room has question marks of its own. Javonte Williams.
I just bumped him up because I noticed that he had Connor, and that's a really strong, really strong player for this year, and Aaron Jones. And actually, since we first started working on this a couple weeks ago, I've gotten a little bit higher on both Achane and Rambo. So I decided to give him a little bit of an edge.
Yeah, Ramondre just got extended, fat extension too, 436. Yeah. So I'm gonna follow your lead. I'm gonna bump Bronc up here because with how much he spent on his running backs as soon as he took the team over, he deserves to be in the top 6.
All right, let's see if we can bump 24 down below our number 8, which is Lou. Rashad White, Mixon, Mostert, Zamir White. Dang, I like this room too.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Okay, well, sorry. Yeah. I'm
this is not about you being 24. This is about things.
It's a little bit.
No, his running back room is primed to be a top 5 group, but it needs a lot of things to go right. Like Rashad White and Joe Mixon could both be top 12 running backs right now. That's still a pipe dream for all these guys except for like James Cook. So
all right, well that stops the tumble for me though, because I looked at Nathan, who I've got at 9, to see if I can move 24 down, and he's got Najee, Jalen Warren, Madison, Zach Moss, and Deuce Vaughn. So
you've honestly
like
got
Najee
that over my running backs. I don't know, man. I don't know about that.
Who have you got? Swift, Demont. There's You've only got one RB1 on that roster, and it's Swift. And I don't know that he's
True.
gonna really be an RB1 this season.
Demont is a better version of Najee. Okay, like
Yeah, I think Swift and Demont are kind of on the
Warren
same track.
Warren has taken over the passing down work for the Steelers, and he's gonna keep it now. So Demont is better than Najee, and whether you think Swift is better than Warren or
The
not,
Arthur Smith offense passing down work.
Swift and Demont are on different teams. Najee and Jalen Warren are not, so they're a
That's true.
zero
That's true.
sum
Oh, he's
proposition.
starting Najee and Jalen Warren. So I guess if you think about it that way, he's just investing. He's going to be starting the entirety of the Arthur Smith running back room. It's not the dumbest idea I've ever heard.
Well, until Michael Pruitt runs for 2 touchdowns and Najee and Jalen Warren combine for 6 points for the first time, that's going to look pretty stupid. Whatever. I mean, Nate and I's running back groups are kind of the same. Like Chase Brown and Zach Moss are or whatever. They're like a 50-50 split. Demont is basically Najee. Swift is, I think he's probably better than Warren and puts up better numbers, but you can definitely argue that either way. And then Ty Chandler's pretty much Madison, production-wise. So, yeah, that's fine.
I'm not sure I don't like Schooler better than this.
What do we got Schooler at?
He's got Gus Edwards, Derrick Henry, Austin Eckler,
Yeah.
Tyler Algiers.
I mean, it's all Derrick Henry, though. You can't.
I like Gus Edwards this year, and Eckler is still Eckler.
Edwards is hurt right now. Like they're saying they haven't disclosed what it is. They're saying that they're like almost positive he'll be ready for training camp. So
Yeah,
now we got to be kind of keeping an eye on that because that's weird.
sure, but I'm not going to fade him this early in the season based
Not
on he'll
yet.
be back by
Yeah,
training camp.
not yet, not yet. But moving that ahead, I mean, I guess you can move it ahead of me.
Who's he got besides Najee? I'm doing it.
I mean, I like
I'm
Moss.
playing it fast and loose this time around, though.
I like Moss, and I like Jalen Warren, but yeah, it's definitely close. Derrick Henry could score 18 touchdowns. He could score 20 touchdowns. So
Yeah, Derrick Henry could be an absolute monster.
Yeah.
Schooler could be in the championship this year behind that running back room.
Be tough. Be tough.
I know. Yeah. It would take a lot. Derrick Henry is going to have to do a ton of lifting, and Gus Edwards is going to have to live up to our wildest dreams, which are pretty wild.
I mean, we just need 9 touchdowns. That's doable.
And then we both had Rish in dead last with Trey Spears, with Tajay Spears, Trey Benson, and Jaleel
I
McLaughlin.
briefly had this above Nate's running backs. I honestly did. I had to move it back down, but I actually like if you're looking to fix or not even fix running back, but like just put a finger in the dam at running back. Tracy Vidal and McLaughlin for like he spent like nothing on that. You could actually get something out of that. You could get some RB2 days out of that. Those guys. Probably not Tracy, but Vidal McLaughlin you really could. So I like what Rish did there considering the budget that he afforded himself. He did relapse bad and he took Jonathan Brooks and then traded Brooks for George Pickens. That's a good deal in a vacuum. I like Pickens better, but that he robbed from his biggest weakness to replenish his biggest strength. So that maybe not the smartest. Rish, give
That's
me
pretty
Pickens.
on brand.
Rish, when you see this, give me Pickens for DeAndre Swift right now. Right now. Fuck out of here, Rish. Okay, on to the receivers. Rish, your running backs suck. You're going nowhere. On to the receivers. This is tough. It always is. All right, we did not agree. Did we agree on a single number one? I don't think we did. We didn't.
Yeah, we both got me at number 3.
No. We didn't agree on who had the number one position group at any of the positions in this league. All right, so
so far.
I mean, I skipped ahead. I can already.
Oh, we have a couple.
All right, so yeah, I mean, you've got
to backpedal on your Rish disdain real quick when you get to wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean it's
you've got him at number 1 with AJB, Waddle, Puka, Devonta, Ozune, Pickens, Judy, Leggett, and then a bunch of randos.
It's Adunze, Ben. Adunze. Come on, buddy.
Is that right?
He plays for your team. It's time that you know how to say the guy's name. Yeah, I mean he's got.
I mainly type it.
What's that?
I mainly type the name.
Okay, that's fair.
It's like reading a book. You don't know how to pronounce any of the names. You don't even think about it.
Exactly. He's just got so many. I mean, AJB, Waddle, Puka. I mean, those guys could all be top 10. Devontae, if things break just right, could be top 12. I love Pickens. I love chicken. I love liver. Meow mix, please deliver. He's got Leggett. Leggett could be the wide receiver 1 in Carolina by the end of the year. Like he invested heavily at receiver. It worked out in terms of what he's got at receiver. He's even got Luke McCaffrey, who a lot of guys like to stash because they're sickos. And then he's got some guys that he just needs to do anything he can to trade for any running back with a pulse. You do not need Isaiah Hodgins and Alec Pierce on your roster, Rish. God damn it. Juju Smith-Schuster is about to be out of the NFL. Like you need to cut bait on some of these guys there, Rishi. But yeah, other than that, it's very good. You liked Nate's receivers better, and hard to fall.
I actually just switched it, and I think I was fairly thinking about this back on the day. I'm really into Evans right now. Ayuk has obviously his status has become a little bit more uncertain since we first started this, and there is a lot of depth for Rish. I'll give Rish the edge on this one, but it is really close. And JJ is the best wide receiver in the mix.
He is. Odunze, I'm not going to say he could be Justin Jefferson, but Odunze could be very good. Yeah, I mean we're arguing Lamborghini versus Ferrari at this point.
Yeah, I've also course corrected my Waddle feelings in the last week or so. So I'm valuing Waddle a little bit more highly, and Puka being down there at 3 kind of makes him fly under the radar. But that's actually like a major gut punch.
Right. I mean that's a wide receiver 1 on a lot of teams.
Both very good teams.
Nate has JSN though. I mean that's his 5. Like he's got some horsepower. Obviously, I hate Neighbors in 2024, and a lot of people agree. But this isn't strictly about 2024. Jalen Polk. I mean, Polk could emerge. Polk could wind up being the target leader in New England, and it's his wide receiver 6. So, yeah, Nate's loaded for the long haul at wide receiver. We both had you at 3, and it's crazy.
It's pretty good.
It's crazy that you're at 3 because Chase, Marvin Harrison Jr. open. I mean, you probably have the best 1-2 in the league. You probably do, yeah. I mean, even as good as
I think that's right.
Even as good as Nate and Rish's receivers are, like Waddle's not even the number 1 on his own team, and well, I mean, really probably Puka is the number 2 for Rish.
Lamb Wilson could end up being a better one too.
Wait, how does Rish have Waddle? I thought you traded Waddle to 24 in this league.
I thought I did too, but I didn't go through and do all the trades.
Hold on.
Does Rish not have Waddle?
Does he really have Waddle?
Well, I do type these things out, so it's possible that I made a mistake, but
hold on.
I'm also opening Sleeper.
No, he does have Waddle. How did he get him?
Yeah. Go to Waddle's player tab and look at history.
Yeah, he got him from friggin' 24 for Ladd McConkey in a 25 second. God damn it.
24.
All right. Can we kick 24 out of all these leagues? God damn it. 24. Obsessed with your guys to a fault. All right. So
He'll learn.
Will he? He hasn't yet.
Yeah. I guarantee you. That's 100%. That strategy will teach
3
you.
leagues. He can just be like, oh well, it didn't work. I give up. All right.
Yeah, so, but he has the same guys in every single league, so it does. I'm not saying it's going to burn his house down. He can walk away from it, but the next time he sets up in another Discord to draft 15 dynasty teams, he better not do the same shit again.
He's going to change his name to 25.
Yeah, it'll be 27 at that point.
Just get a false identity. No, I'm not 20. I'm 27.
That's not me.
Yeah, 24. That's stupid.
He only posts like Mace Windu memes.
Yeah, exactly. Ewan McGregor, hate that guy. Mace Windu though. Okay, had our fun.
Where are we here?
We're still on your receivers. Chase MHA is probably the best 1-2 punch, dynasty wise, that you could possibly have. It's absurd. And then you've got Keenan Allen and Christian Kirk as your 3 and 4. Holy shit. Mooney, Wilson as like speculative depth. I really like it. You know, those guys could be really good. Wilson especially. So yeah, the fact that you are all the way down at 3 is kind of silly, but those receivers.
There are two super loaded teams here. Yeah.
You put me at 4 for receivers. I had me at 5. We'll compare me to 24 here in a sec. I do like. I like my receivers a lot. Obviously, Lamb. Hard to argue with Lamb. Garrett Wilson. I knew he was a target monster. 18 of his 34 games so far in the NFL, he's had 9 or more targets. Like, god dang, he's already Devontae Adams in terms of air share.
Yeah.
And then I got C-Watt, who I'm not. I ain't giving up. Early speculation from Browns beat reporters is that Tillman is going to start. Moore is going to the bench. Tillman and Cooper are starting outside, and Judy in the slot with Elijah Moore pounding sand. So I'm liking my one Tillman share there. Keon Coleman.
You have C-Watt on this team?
Yeah, you had it down as originally that I had traded.
Oh, that you had moved on from him.
Right, yeah, but no.
Yeah, I see it. Hold on, I'm going to fix it right now.
Would never do such a thing.
Yeah, it was. It's shocking to even contemplate.
Don't contemplate it. Think about something else.
I'm going to be generous and give C-Watt a yellow.
Wow.
And put him above Shaheed. At this point, I don't know who I like more, Shaheed or A.T. Perry. I think that A.T. Perry's got more red zone potential to kind of just soak up a lot of red zone targets. But they're both decent later wide receivers. But you're top heavy here. It's all about Lamb, Garrett Wilson. Really, really good one, too.
Lou is sweating me hard for Perry. He wants me to give him Perry for Brandon Cooks. I'm holding out.
What kind of no? Don't do that. Not for Brandon Cooks. At least get somebody.
We'll see. Yeah, you hear that, Lou?
Get Juwan Jennings. I'd go with Juwan Jennings before.
Yeah, take Juwan Jennings for me for Brandon Cooks, buddy. Wait, that's not right.
For A.T. Perry, I like A.T. Perry, but he's really tall. You know,
he's big. He's got really long arms. What's not to like? Okay, but I've got the better top end guys probably, but 24's got Olave, London. Kind of like Rish, he invests at wide receiver like crazy, just maybe not quite as well as Rish does, unfortunately. But Olave London, I love Olave London this year. I love them both. I think they're both going to have the best seasons of their career. I was comparing Olave with Garrett Wilson like earlier today. Garrett Wilson, 18 out of his 34 games in the NFL so far, 9+ targets. Olave, 15 out of 31. Okay, so that's a very similar percentage. Olave's been a monster too. And Garrett Wilson still has Nathaniel Hackett and a 41-year-old quarterback to deal with. Olave doesn't have those problems. So I feel like Garrett Wilson's got more hype, and I'm definitely not sure that it's deserved like Olave a lot.
Yeah, I have Olave probably right above Garrett Wilson. I probably have him back to back, but I lean towards Olave. I'm just like, I've been on the London train for the whole time, and it's really hard for me to believe that, like, it's just like Caleb. I'm just not programmed to be like, all right, guys, here we go.
Right.
Now we've taken out Ritter from that offense, and we're just going to slap on Kirk Cousins coming off a serious injury, and all will be well for London. The narrative is there. It makes a ton of sense. I love having him on my dynasty teams, but I'm really hesitant about his mid-second ADP in redraft. So I'm probably not giving him as much weight here as I should. And Reed's in crowded room, Downs is really still has a lot to prove.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about
McConkey,
Downs.
I'm a little higher on now than when we made this list, and Palmer, I've kind of started to see a little bit better. But again, really crowded situation there. Hard to say who's going to emerge. But yeah, it's really close here between you and 24.
I like Troy Franklin. I like that he has Franklin and Nix. So if that carries over from college, that's nice value. A lot of guys are really high on Malachi Corley. Okay, like I'm knocking him really because he's a Jet, and I think that's not good for any receiver unless you're Garrett Wilson. And even then, it hasn't really helped Garrett Wilson. So yeah, but yeah, I mean between Palmer and McConkey, I'm like 95% sure he's got the Chargers' top receiver, and I'm pretty sure the Chargers are going to be really good. So.
Oh, this is hard.
Traded for Dotson. That's pretty icky. Even he knows that's icky because he's so adamantly down on Jaden Daniels. So he's kind of talking out of both sides of his mouth, trading for Dotson. Yeah, I mean we both have two top end guys. You could argue he has three with Reed, although that's kind of borderline. And then Reed is like you could argue it's Reed versus Christian Watson to like. Who's going to win out as the alpha there in Green Bay. And then after that, it's, would you rather have Josh Downs or Keon Coleman? Would you rather have Rashid Shaheed or Ladd McConkey? Like, yeah, you'd probably rather have McConkey. You'd probably rather have Coleman. Like, it's really, really close. His receivers are not.
Yeah, I like Coleman on yours, too. I was noticing that goes a long way. And Devontae. And then I have Mike even between you and 24. So I've been looking at him. But you've got him way down at 8. So
I had Mike higher, and I had to move him down. I might have to move him back up now that I'm looking at it with kind of fresh eyes.
He's got a ton of depth. Man, it's really hard here. You and 24 are so close. I'm almost more considering moving Mike above you.
Fair.
But just because you in your second level, you've got a lot of guys that I'm really not into. I know they're your guys, so they'll probably work out.
I love Tyreek Metcalf for Mike. That's awesome. Dobbs, I don't think. I know he closed hot when Watson was out hurt. I just don't think he's going to win this. Like, if whoever the Packers' top receiver is going to be, it's going to be Reed or it's going to be C-Watt if he can stay healthy.
I just think that no one's going to crack 25% target share in Green Bay.
No, probably not.
It's probably not. Be mixed up. So
probably
there's not really going to be a defined alpha.
They might not have a top 15 receiver in the whole group. That's definitely possible. Does Dobbs operate out of the slot or on manufactured touches better than Reed? Definitely not. Mm-hmm. Is he more of a freak than Watson? Definitely not. So if everyone stays healthy, yeah. Sutton, I mean, we'll see. Like, yeah, you're right. He was scoring a touchdown like on every 7th catch last year. A, is that sustainable? B, are they even going to try to repeat it now that Nix is in town? And C, he's not happy about his contract, and it's very uncertain what's going to happen there. They might trade him. So,
well, trading him probably wouldn't hurt. And it's not as if they've added another red zone target. Like, they still have no tight end functionally, and their wide receiver group hasn't gotten that much better. So I
Sutton, but yeah. And
I traded at great value for Sutton in his rookie year and ended up regretting it badly. So it's very hard for me to come around on him. But yeah, I'm loving his redraft ADP right now. Like, that's the probably the number one wide receiver on an NFL team coming off a 10 TD season. You get him in the 11th round. I'm all about that.
Shit, yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. I got to move Mike over Schooler's receivers. You're right. Yeah, because I don't love Curtis Samuel, but a lot of people really like him. Deontay Johnson as your wide receiver 4 or 5 is fantastic. So yeah, he doesn't really have any depth issues at receiver. Schooler does. So
plus he's got Kendrick Bourne down there. You never know. And he's got Treylon down at the bottom, sort of returning punts. He could work his way into being a professional wide receiver again any minute.
Treylon Burks is the number one receiver in Tennessee. Everyone that has a clue knows that, and I won't hear it in argument. Contrary.
I think you can let the Justin Ross hype go though at this point.
I think so. I think that's probably true. Man, what the hell was I on with Lou at 6? Well,
Let's see.
no.
After that, I go to 24, which we talked about quite a bit. And I got to say, for me, Luke, Mike, 24, you could really mix those up anyway. They're all really, really close. And then I've got Schooler, ARSB, Diggs, and then it really, really comes off, gets ugly there with Xavier Worthy, QJ, Shakir. I mean, these are all guys you want on a dynasty roster.
For sure.
Flournoy, Devontae Parker, Coker, Mechie, Claypool. I don't understand why Claypool is getting talked up again.
I mean, he is because he is. He's a Buffalo Bill. The McDermott has nothing but kind words. Could happen. Claypool.
Man, coach speak in June might as well be in a foreign language to me. It doesn't even.
Clay, I know
Cooper,
as a Bears
Hopkins,
fan,
Hollywood.
you're obligated to hate Chase Claypool, but stranger things have happened.
I don't hate the guy. I wish him. I hope he keeps getting contracts and keeps making money because he's fast. But like, there's at a certain point, how much more you're going to keep believing on a guy who's like everything about his game is low hit rate.
Stranger things, my friend. Stranger things have happened. He's a physical specimen. All right. So right now, as it stands, Schooler, who is built like. He's locked himself in the box here because he traded his 2024 first. He's got Derrick Henry, Diggs, Eckler, a couple other old guys whose names are escaping me. He's all the way in on winning right away, and he's absolutely going to be starting at least one, probably two, of Xavier Worthy, Quentin Johnston, and Khalil Shakir in week 1 and multiple weeks after that. Like he's locked into having extremely iffy guys touching his lineup every week. That's not great. That's not great when you're all in to win now.
I mean, I'm working really hard to try and move him, Lou over Schooler here, and I just can't do it. ASRB Diggs is better than Amari Hopkins. A lot better.
It is. I'm really down on Worthy in 2024, and we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not excited about him at all.
We'll see after that. Quentin Johnston, I don't think he's going to catch 50 balls at this.
It could be. It's anybody's job to win down there. It could be him. It could be any of them. I'll take whoever's cheapest.
I think QJ is going to be. He's going to have a role. It's going to be very one-dimensional.
But what about all the positive coach speak he's been getting out of OTAs?
He hasn't been getting that much. He's had some.
Well, they said he's got to be involved more. It wasn't exactly a rave review.
He can't involve him any less. He's off the team. Like, he's got to involve him more. Honestly, that kind of sounds like, hey, well, we inherited this guy who had a first-round pedigree last year. We don't want him. Let's not shit on his trade market right out of the gate.
I like him as much or more than Claypool.
Well, okay, yeah, I mean, sure. So he's probably starting Worthy and Shakir week 1. That's rough. I think Claypool. I mean, honestly, yeah, sure. He's very long odds at this point. I think he's fine. I think he's perfectly fine at the end of your depth chart in a league like this because I mean he's in the right offense with opportunity if he really balls out over the summer. Again, crazier things have happened. We're talking about Curtis Samuel and Khalil Shakir and a couple other guys. Like it's
do they have MVS though?
Exactly. Like, MVS, you're right.
But, I mean, MVS and Claypool are basically the same guy. I think MVS is better.
MVS is way faster for starters, but...
Well, yeah.
No, I mean, MVS never scored 4 touchdowns in a game, okay? Claypool's done it, so we'll see. All right, we talked about Chase Claypool enough for the night. All right, at 9...
I don't think we've met the clamor for Chase Claypool.
I think
people want the Claypool.
We met
need more Claypool.
All right, you had Ann at 9. I had Bronc at 9. You had Ann at 9 with Debo, Pittman, Higgins, which is very good. It goes to shit completely after that. He has nothing. Higgins to Slayton, that is the most extreme drop off from 3 to 4 I've ever seen. Holy shit.
That is quite bad.
OBJ is a no. I mean, whatever he is. OBJ is insurance for if Tyreek or Jalen Waddle gets hurt. That's it. Paris Campbell is not even going to be on an NFL roster. Chark is on MVS duty for the Chargers. Darius Davis is a kick returner for the Chargers. if he can keep that job over Lad McConkey. Atwell, I mean, this is the only guy worth a damn is Malik Washington and Brendan Rice. Whereas for Bronc, he's got Nico, who is I think Nico's a legitimate wide receiver 1 in Dynasty. Like he's probably not going to catch 90 balls. That's the only knock you can put on the guy. Big play machine. Adams could put another 175 targets down. Would not surprise me at all. Kupp, Addison. I don't really like Ridley or Godwin, but they're guys. You know, they're absolutely fantasy relevant. Jacoby Myers. Bronx receivers are way better than Ann's for me.
I agree. I just flipped it around.
Good boy.
Because you're right about the top end for Bronc, especially Adams and Nico are very strong. And if you're looking at Ann, you know, I like Pittman a lot, but he doesn't really have a lot of like top end firepower. So
get prepared to knock Ann down another spot because you have Alex at dead last in receivers. Rashee Rice is a real dynasty commodity. Okay, he is. Like the only concern is that he's going to get a 6-game pop at this point, at some point in the next 2 years, which may not happen. I mean, he may get like a 2-gamer at this point. That's the only concern.
I've drafted more Rashee Rice in mocks than probably any other player. His value right now is insane. I think that he's got a wide receiver 2 floor with the suspension this year. Like all in on Rice. Like that's just.
Well, he's not. He's 10% chance he gets any sort of suspension in the
Yeah, I also don't think he's going to get suspended, and if he does, it's probably going to get appealed all the way into 2025. So
easily. Rashee Rice does have lawyers, people, and I mean, his market is just crazy right now. That's going to correct, unfortunately, but yeah. So Rice is a solid wide receiver 2 in Dynasty with room to grow. McLaurin is older, but he is the wide receiver 1 on an offense that could overachieve. It would not be the most shocking thing in the world. Will and Lockett, they're old. They're broken down. Either one could get to 1,000 yards. Well, Mike Williams probably can't get to 1,000 yards, but Lockett could. It would not be that shocking. I love Ricky Pearsall. I love him. I was heartbroken when Alex took him. He is the heir apparent to Deebo Samuel in that role in San Francisco. It is that simple. That is what is going to happen in 2025 and beyond, period. Javon Baker, we'll see. He already traded McMillan for, I don't even remember what he got. I didn't so much love it. He got,
he already traded McMillan?
He traded McMillan to 24 he traded McMillan to Musgrave to 24 for Jahan Dotson and Josh Palmer. So,
okay, this explains why 24 won't give me McMillan for the very reasonable price that I sent him.
Doesn't want you to have 24.
No, he's got too much. He's got sunk fallacy cost in McMillan, and he's right. I just didn't realize it. I've been talking trash on him in DMs.
24 is the original. I call Nate a Pokemon collector, Pokemon master. 24 is the original Pokemon master. He just wants to get the whole rookie class, have no player that's ever played it down in the NFL before, and go 4-10 every year, and just repeat the process. Trade all those rookies for more picks.
Whatever makes you happy.
Yeah, exactly. When it's free leagues. Alex, I had to put at 10 over Deebo, Pittman, Higgins, but I'm reconsidering that now that I'm looking at it again.
Yeah, I'm sitting here trying to move Alex up, and I don't think Rashee McLaurin, Mike Williams is over Deebo, Pittman, Higgins, and I don't think it's over DJ Moore, Tank Dell, Zay Flowers, even though we're both kind of lukewarm on Tank and Zay.
Who do I have at 12?
I have to have one of these teams. But do I want DJ Moore, Tank Dell, Zay Flowers, Thielen?
All right.
Or do I want
Alex?
Rashee Rice, McLaurin, Mike Williams, Lockett, Pearsall? He already traded McMillan. Damn, it's close.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, no, I'm going to leave it the way it is. Yes. 1 through 3, Ann's receivers are much better. But
I've also decided to leave it the way that it is.
4 through 6, Alex has guys that could really see their outlooks, their markets soar in 2024. Ann just doesn't. Like OBJ, Slayton, those guys are cashed. They're not going anywhere. Malik Washington has no path to targets, even though I love him as a player. Brendan Rice, probably like going to be practice squad, special teams, something like that. Like lots of talent, no opportunity. So Pearsall, Javon Baker, McMillan's gone. Lockett, Emwell, like he's got actual actionable depth with long-term upside that the depths of Ann's receivers just don't have. But I do love Debo Pittman, Higgins. Don't get me wrong. All right, so and then I hate Electrix's receivers. I don't know what he's doing. He bought Tank Dell. I think he bought Dell and Flowers, and I just don't like those players. But I love DJM. I think he's going to lead the Bears in receiving yards and quite possibly targets, but that alone is just not enough. Thielen is ancient. Tyler Boyd is Jag soup. Yeah, he's fucked at receiver. Receiver is where this team went wrong. I mean, he's got top 3 receivers, top 3 quarterbacks, top 3 he's got McBride. Like, oof, what a way to fumble the bag. He needs to get receivers bad, in my book.
Also, look at who he sold: Keenan Allen, Christian Kirk, George Pickens, JSN.
Yeah, whoops. Should have kept those guys, bud. That was not the move. Not the
But
move.
we don't know who he got for him. He probably got somebody he needed out of those moves.
I know he also.
But going down to tight end.
Oh no, that's right. He got AR from Nate for a bunch of those guys.
Yeah.
All right, down to tight ends, which we can snap it off real quick. You put me at 1. I had me at 2 just because Lou's Kelsey Bowers. Lou has Travis Kelce and Brock Bowers. Like that's great. That's crazy.
If you haven't watched any of our prior videos, just know that for me, I basically rank tight end on whoever your top tight end is.
Right, but okay, you had Alex at 5. Okay, I was just gonna make sure you didn't do him quite so dirty this time around. Yeah, and then I've got Laporta, and I grabbed Ben Sinnott in the rookie draft in this league, so I'm pretty well stocked at tight end in this league. Not gonna lie. And then
Electrixz at 2. Let's see what's he got.
Yeah, McBride is
McBride. Jatavian Sanders. Yeah, that's pretty good. Kelsey Bowers Bellinger is damn good though.
You had Bronc at 4 with Kincaid and just likely I guess. I had to drop him all the way down to 8. Like I like Kincaid and all, but Alex has Pitts Ingram. That's incredible. Ann has Mark Andrews, who is, he's more proven than Kincaid for sure. Actually, maybe I need to move. Well, no, we like Kincaid. We think we certainly think that the arrow is pointing up. There's a lot of guys that are new to the scene in Buffalo. We don't really know what's going to happen there. And Kincaid, once Joe Brady took over at offensive coordinator last year, Kincaid struggled horribly down the stretch. Okay, he didn't. We assumed because he was a rookie that he finished hot. He finished dog shit, ice cold, just like Diggs did. Okay, so I don't think that's going to happen again, but it did happen. It did happen, and now we have a bunch of new receivers in the fold. So we'll see. Mark Andrews is the wide receiver 1 in Baltimore. We know that. And then 7. Who did I have at 7? No, I had those tight ends at 7. Who did I have at 6? Oh yeah, I had Schooler with T.J. Hawkinson, Hunter Henry, Noah Fant. Yeah, I like that group. There's a lot of guys there.
Dawson Knox did come back in week 14, but is that when you're talking about at the end of the actual season or the end of the fantasy season?
I'm talking about from whatever it was, week 9 when they fired Ken Dorsey and Joe Brady took over as the interim OC, and everyone focused on, Diggs was terrible from that point on. So was Kincaid. Khalil Shakir and James Cook were the only guys catching friggin' balls consistently there. And again, Diggs is gone. I know they like Kincaid and he's the plan there going forward and everything, but that did happen. It happened with this new offensive coordinator, and now they've got 18 new wide receivers. Let's just not anoint McBride, or not anoint Kincaid as being on the Laporta McBride tier just yet. 2024.
Yeah, I'm too high on. I'm very high on Kincaid, and I probably need to examine that because it might be problematic. I wouldn't put Pitts Ingram over him, but I could maybe see moving Mark Andrews over him. So maybe I could give those two a swap just in the name of fairness. But
Ingram was the tight end 2 last year. Okay, he was
Ingram is a boss.
He was
when
no
he's
slouch.
a boss.
And now Ridley and Zay Jones are gone. Yeah, sure, Gabe Davis and Brian Thomas Jr. are there. Ridley and Zay Jones can process more like intermediate range volume than Gabe Davis and Brian Thomas Jr. are ever going to do. So yeah, Ingram is.
Look at the 2022 and the 2023 game log for Ingram. I mean, it's pedestrian, 18, 27, 12, 19.
Oh yeah.
Same thing in 2022. It's like pedestrian. He hits a 13, and then it's 11, 10, 14 to finish the season in fantasy points. He is one of the best tight ends in the league for 4 or 5 weeks out of the season.
I don't know about that. From around like the Cowboys game in 2022, I want to say. No, it was even before that. From the Titans game in Week 14, 2022. Ingram has been a boss, man. He had 33 targets in 3 games, Week 14 through 16 that year, and then and then was just a volume monster, wire to wire. I mean, he's got
like 3 stellar games in 2022. One of them was 33 points. That's propping up his overall numbers a ton.
He was ass for the first half of 2022 for sure.
Yeah.
But
2023 was kind of the same bag. He was okay. He's putting up decent tight end numbers, but he's got plenty of 5s, 8s in there, and that's nothing to write home about.
Bro, he had 7 or more targets in 13 games last year. He had 12, 15, and 13 targets in 3 of the last 5 games in 2023. Yeah, he
did really go wild at the end of 2023 from week 13 on. He had 5 of 6 games was stellar.
We've now given Chase Claypool and Evan Ingram a combined 48 minutes of airtime tonight. Brilliant. All right, so you like okay, you moved Mark Andrews up. That's sensible.
Yeah. But I'll still take Kincaid over Pitts.
Dude, you got to look at Schooler. You've got the TJ Hawkinson owner at 11. Come on, be a man of your own word here. You've got
he's only going to play half the season.
He'll play more than that. You've got the Pat Freiermuth, Cade Stover tight end room over Hawkinson and Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry's the starting tight end for the Patriots, by the way. Noah Fant is the starting tight end for the Seahawks, by the way. Come on, use your head. That's just
I can switch those two.
That's obviously wrong.
I am trying to help Scholar out here.
And then you've got, who do you have at 9? You got Dalton Schultz and Dallas Goedert over TJ Hawkinson. Bro, come on.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with that one. Hawkinson's awesome, but he's also going to miss a bunch of time.
All right, I've got Pitts Ingram at 4. I've got Kittle, Ferguson, Kmet at 5, which you have at 7. What the hell? Oh yeah, it's your own tight ends. You're gonna you hate yourself. I've got Hawkinson, Henry, Fant at 6. I'm bullish on Fant. I've got Mandrews. I got him all the way down at 7. Jesus, what am I thinking?
I could move my guys over Pitts Ingram.
You could. I wouldn't hate it. I would kind of hate it, but all right. Then at 8, I've got Kincaid, which that's pretty punitive, but I like the other guys. And then 9, I've got Njoku Mayer, which everyone knows I love Njoku, but that's pretty thin. And then you've got Schultz Goddard at 9 over Njoku. All right, fine. And then
the Texans are an offense you should be buying.
Yeah, but he's got no path over 80 targets, bro. And then
Conklin's gonna top out at 87. 80 targets is good for a tight end.
Yeah. All right, you've got Freiermuth at 11, which I reluctantly agree with because
I don't exactly know why, but it somehow started shaking around in my head this week that I maybe need to take a look at Freiermuth.
He's getting a lot of hype. He's getting a lot of hype right now. And they don't, outside of Pickens and maybe Roman Wilson, they just don't have anybody else. So, yeah, Freiermuth is a sneaky 8 touchdown candidate for sure. I like Chig though. The Hopkins Ridley, like that leaves room for a third receiver. Titans have name one other tight end on the Titans roster. You can't do it. Nobody can do it. The Titans tight end coach can't do it. So I still like Chig. Schoonmaker is a trade candidate. From what I've heard, like he's dead. Irv Smith is dead. This tight end room is a disaster. Mike's in shambles because he was in the championship game. He was the favorite going into that game, and he is pencil thin at quarterback. He is pencil thin at running back. He's kind of thin at receiver, and he has just nothing at tight end. Like, how did you go from being the favorite in the championship game to heading into a season? I mean, he's kind of in a situation similar to Schooler, and I don't have him ranked as close to Schooler as I should. He's got Josh Allen. That's the Josh Allen effect for you. If not for Josh Allen, they'd be pretty much the same goddamn team. So, anyway, on to our overalls. I've got you at 1, Ben. How do you feel being my favorite to win? To win,
very wise.
Yes.
I mean, it wouldn't make me any richer. I can tell you that much.
Got me at 6. You're a scumbag. You don't even have me at 6. Look at the numbers, Ben. You say you got me at 6, but look at the numbers, Ben. You gave 19 points. Jesus Christ.
Oh, I'm. Whoa, I have you at 19 points, huh?
Yeah. Better than
well, I did the first few sort of off the cuff. Well, you do have Laporta. You're not very deep at wide receiver. I don't like your running backs.
Deep at receiver. I got Coleman Watson. I got TMJ.
All right, let's see. Can I move you over Lou?
I got Marvin Mims.
Kyler Stafford, Cousins. Yeah, pushy.
Bateman,
better at running back.
It's Bateman's season.
Deep. And then Kelsey, Brock Bowers. Man, I don't know. I don't think I can move you over Lou. What about 24? Burrow, Herbert, Cook, K-Walk, better.
Somebody's gonna get 24 to trade. Joe
the real question should be Mike, because you have him ranked all the way down at 9th, and I have him at 3rd. Am I too high on him? Bryce Young.
He's way too thin. He's way too thin to be ranked that high. If anything goes wrong at every position, like if Chico Okonkwo gets hurt, he has no points at tight end. Obviously, he's going to have to trade for somebody, but then he's got to go get probably ripped off for a tight end. So I should actually offer him a tight end because I've got 1 or 2 to spare.
So do I.
Yeah, so do you. So
I've been trying to move tight end in this league.
If Josh Allen gets hurt, not only is even if Allen misses like 4 games, his season is over. If Jahmyr Gibbs or Kyron Williams misses time, his season is over. Like it's too perilous. He just has no depth. He was very inactive in trades and on the waiver wire last year. And you can't be like that in a league like this where everybody's just churning roster all the time. Schooler's the same way, and his roster is also very thin as a result. So, yeah, Mike, I think is in real trouble. I think he's on the outside looking at a playoff spot at the moment. I really like your team. I expect you to be in the championship game. Anything less than that, I'm gonna make fun of you to your face.
Don't worry, I'll find a way to mess it up.
I mean, you have been cursed. Obviously, the Nick Chubb, perfect example. Like that. If not for that, you probably do make it to the championship. So. I do like my team. Obviously, running back is a pretty major weakness. I'm not going to argue otherwise. I'm cautiously optimistic on DeAndre Swift. I am cautiously optimistic on Chase Brown. But, yeah, I'm certainly not going to have a top 6 finish in terms of running back production. I think the rest of my team can carry it. And if they can't, then I can definitely trade a quarterback for some running back help. I might. It's still very possible that Alex caves and gives me a running back for Drake May or a running back plus for Drake May. He doesn't want to do it because he knows that then I'm the team to beat, but he may not have a choice.
Switch back over to the camera view.
Yes. Ah! Is that a cat or a dog?
It's a cat.
Where's my cat? Cat, come here. My cat's the same.
Oh. You have the same cat? Is it enormously fat like this one?
Dude, we have like twin cats. Look at that.
Oh yeah, it is enormously fat.
Twin cats, bro.
This is my daughter's cat.
That's my daughter's cat too. I would never have a cat. Why do we have twin cats? That's pretty weird. Was your
Okay, the
cat's name
cat
Dora
just
too?
replaced my person in 7th place with a long string of gibberish. So let me undo that. I do think Mike Rish feels really, really close here. So I'm trying to get Bronc and see if I can move him over Mike.
That's tough
Mahomes,
because
James Daniels, a chain Rambo.
I mean my running backs are not good. Rish is probably he probably can't really compete, right? Because he's leaving too many points out of the lineup every week.
Yeah, he doesn't have running backs. So yeah, I think that's true.
And like he's gonna be forced to sit Rome Odunze or Jerry Jeudy or George Pickens sometimes because you can only start 5 receivers and he's got like 8. Like he can't start Xavier Leggett at all. Like the degree to which he's overinvested in receiver is going to force points onto the bench, and that's going to cost him at least a game, probably a couple games. So, but I mean,
but do you think you should move him lower than where you've got him at 6th? He's not strong at tight end. He basically has no running backs,
and he's thin at quarterback too.
AOC.
I don't love Schultz Goddard. That's pretty low ceiling. He traded away Njoku. I did not like that move. He traded away Amari Cooper for a future second, a late second. Hated that move. But Spears has upside. Benson has thinner upside. He needs Connor to get hurt, but after 2024, Vidal could wind up leading the Chargers in rushing yards. He really could. It would not surprise me at all. McLaughlin is clearly emerging as the running back to own in Denver. Tyrone Tracy, I mean, they're saying that he could actually be the passing down guy in New York, like week 1. Like he's making some noise. So his running backs are icky, but they do have some upside. I gotta leave him at 6 just because the receivers are that good. I don't think like I said, I'm really not sure he can compete like this, but it's the 6th best roster, top to bottom. 24 at 5. You like him a lot more than I do, and I do like his team, but you know the Breece Hall trade for me really kind of it was emblematic of his over fixation on acquiring value, acquiring bodies that again is going to result in points getting bailed out of his lineup onto his bench because Breece Hall takes up 1 spot in your lineup. Jalen Waddle and James Cook take up 2, and he already traded Waddle anyway. But like he
traded Waddle.
He traded Waddle to Rish for Ladd McConkey in a second. Oops.
And Waddle's one of his guys too.
Well, not McConkey.
I think I'm higher on his running back room than you are. I don't mind James Cook. I like Kenneth Walker a lot, and I think Jonathan Brooks is probably going to win that job. So
I don't think he has. I don't know if he has a star there. I don't know if he has. I really don't know if he has a top 12 producer at the position. I really don't. I'm leaning toward he doesn't. Like I do not think James Cook is going to score 6 touchdowns. I do not think Kenneth Walker is going to catch 30 balls. I really don't. His running backs are just they're kind of good guys. You know, they're solid flexes, but he does not have a bulletproof RB1. Not even close.
I do like Lou a little bit better, so I'm going to go ahead and put Lou above him.
And yeah, I mean, sorry, managerial skill is a thing, and that's the reason that I've got Schooler dead last. He doesn't have the worst roster in the league, but he has the least clue of how to make it win. So yeah, that's why I've got Schooler dead last. And yeah, I had to put Lou over 24 because I think Lou can squeeze more wins out of what he's got, and he's got he's got some win now pieces. Stafford, Cousins, Hopkins could have 1,200 yards this year. Would not surprise me. He got Amari Cooper from Rish for very cheap. Hollywood could have 1,000 yards. BTJ might have. I mean, it's possible that Brian Thomas Jr. has like 50 catches and 8 or 9 touchdowns. If anybody could do it, it's that guy. Adonai Mitchell, like we got kind of down on him and hated him, but he's a super freak. Roman Wilson, great trade that he got rid of Gabe Davis for Roman Wilson. That was a great deal. He's got a lot. I mean, he's got a lot of rocket ship. He's got great tight ends. The running backs, I love White, Mixon, Mostert, Zamir White. That's really solid. He has no weaknesses. This team could be in the championship.
Yeah, Lou is really good. Lou's really good. I moved him up. I also moved you up over 24 as well after looking at it again. I think that your running back rooms aren't dissimilar. It's easy to sleep on DeMont. You probably need Chase Brown to become something here this year. And I think, I don't know. I think Jonathan Brooks has a cleaner path to that, but not by a lot. And then at wide receiver, he's better, but then you've got Laporta to his Freiermuth, so it's really close. But Laporta goes a long way, so I just tipped it your way just a little bit.
If the Bears' offense is good, and we are thinking it's going to be good, and the rumors are true, and Khalil Herbert's kind of fallen out of favor, and I mean obviously they paid DeAndre Swift. I'm kind of expecting RB2 production from Swift this year. I don't see why that's not going to happen. Roschon Johnson does not scare me. Dante Foreman is gone. And Khalil Herbert's going the wrong way. Like, who else is there? Somebody's got to do something at running back. Why not? How about the guy they just paid? DeMont.
The Bears are the Bears. They're gonna share it around. I mean, look at what happened last year.
I don't buy that.
I think Swift is going to have some great games. He's going to come out and flash, but he also didn't show us a ton of consistency in Philadelphia last year, did he?
He was good from like week 2 into the middle part of the season. He definitely faded down the stretch, but so did the whole team. So,
yeah, that's true. The whole team kind of bottomed out in Philadelphia. That's a weird one.
They're talking about, hey, he's going to be involved in the passing game. Of course, every team says that when they bring in DeAndre Swift.
Well, yeah, but they probably mean it.
The Bears' offense could be amazing, and like I said, Roschon Johnson. The only guy I'm worried about is Khalil Herbert, and they seem to have fallen out of love with Khalil Herbert for some reason. So I don't know. I'm very
Khalil Herbert's going to get snaps.
I think he should, and if he does, it's going to hurt me. But if he doesn't, and the rumors, Khalil Herbert to the Cowboys for a future 5th, it sure makes a lot of sense at the moment. But anyway, so I feel fine about Swift. I feel good about DeMont to get me 8 or 9 touchdowns. Chase Brown, Ty Chandler, they got to give me something. As long as they do that, and I might go out and trade for whoever the fuck, whatever I can get Alex to give me for Geno Smith or Sam Darnold. Anyway, so yeah, I think I'm in it. Lou is extremely in it. Electrixz.
I've got a lot of running backs too. If you want to make a trade,
you do. You do.
Well, Brian Robinson.
You ripped somebody off so bad on the Brian Robinson trade. I feel like you should give me Brian Robinson for like 3rd rounder or something.
That doesn't make any sense at all. That deal matured with time.
It did.
At the time we made the deal, it wasn't for the 102.
You bought Tesla stock when it was traded for 48 a share.
That's right. And then Schooler went and fucked around and didn't get the 101. So I didn't even end up with Caleb, which is what I wanted.
So I like Lou's team a lot. I expect him to make a deep playoff run at minimum. Obviously, Bronc's team is in it for real. I really don't understand the trade he did with Rish, and earlier in the Discord, he's like, be sure to mention how I killed Rish in that trade. Bronc, you ate so much shit in that trade, I can't even stand it. You traded Trevor Lawrence, who, yes, we're all very skittish down on Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence has a floor, okay? Jaden Daniels, holy shit. We have no idea what's going to happen with Jaden Daniels, okay? He could be the QB8. He could be the QB38. We have no idea. So trading Lawrence for Jaden Daniels when you are dick, balls, and asshole deep in win now, idiotic, stupid, bad, dumb, idiot. But Mahomes obviously saves it. Russ is quality QB3. I love Achane. I'm good with Ramondre now with the contract. He got Aaron Jones from me, although he got killed in that deal. The running backs are very good. The receivers are very good. And Kincaid is very good. So Bronc could absolutely be in the championship. He's a competent in-game manager. Bronc versus Lou or Bronc versus you or Bronc versus me in the playoffs is definitely going to happen. Unless the fantasy gods punish him for that awful trade with Rish. God damn it, Bronc. What else? What else here? And I've got Bronc really low, but that's just because he pissed me off with that trade, and I didn't like that.
I'm sitting here trying to see if I can move him up because I do like his team, but I don't think I can get him up over 24.
Why can't I edit him?
Seeing how low you have on my pro.
Did you turn off editing, you son of a bitch?
No, you should be fine.
Okay, good. You're right. I should.
I
got to move Bronc over Alex just because. Alex, you don't have the quarterbacks to compete right now, and your receivers and even Saquon, Zeke are a little bit long in the tooth. Like your strategy right now is not super making sense. Like if you're gonna win now, then fucking do it and go get a quarterback. If you're not, then tear it down. Like you're in two worlds in the moment. Stop sitting on the fence.
And being this low is just so weird. Looking at CMC Jacobs and being like, what the frick? And he's got Andrews as his tight end. He's just starting Baker and Daniel Jones. That's ouchy.
I'm really tempted to move 24 lower than Rish here. I'm tempted to move Rish and Bronc over 24. I'm not going to because I do respect what 24 has here. The quarterbacks are good. The running backs are they're at least fine. They may be good. I could be unnecessarily low on this. God, the tight ends just sucks ass. He does have Musgrave now. That does not really move the needle yet. He traded Otten. What the fuck was he doing? Why did he trade for him in the first place then? Ugh. Yeah, I'm tempted to move Bronc up here.
I'm looking to see if I can get Rish any higher.
I'm gonna leave.
And Gibbs Kyron just goes a long way for me. It's tough to move him over Mike. I just hate his RB room a lot.
I'm gonna leave Bronc here. He's gonna make the playoffs. He's gonna probably win 10 games. I'm gonna leave him here because 24 and Rish's teams are just that much younger, are that much better set up for the future, and Bronc's all the way in really over the next 2 years, which is fine. Yeah. And then after that, like Mike, I just don't see it. Like he's got some nice pieces. He's got no depth. If anything goes wrong at all, he's fucked, and something's gonna go wrong. Like it's very unlikely that your quarterback, your running back, your wide receivers are gonna be pencil thin. You're gonna have no tight end that should even be started, and everything's gonna break right for all those things. Like there's just it's too much of a. He needs a perfect parkour run on the first attempt, and that's not a thing. Nate. Yeah, the running backs. The running backs could be fine, honestly. Like if the Steelers have like a top 5 run offense, all bets are off. Like these running backs could be pretty darn good. And then the receivers are insane. Njoku's perfectly fine. He could have 130 targets. Yeah. I'm tempted to move Nate.
Yeah, the only teams that I would say are like properly out in the running here are Schooler and Ann. I mean,
yeah.
Nate could bumble his way into a great season with this roster. But, man, I would not put any money on him with that running back room. And Deshaun is his QB2. He's got a very, very strong wide receiver room.
Nate, yeah, no, for sure. And Caleb, I mean, maybe Caleb's a superstar day one. That's certainly he was the number 1 pick. He's the most anticipated rookie quarterback since Andrew Luck. Even Ann Flank, like CMC Jacobs, that's a difference-making 1-2 punch at running back.
Yeah, it really is, yeah.
Debo was the wide receiver 2 in fantasy from week 12 through week 17. The wide receiver 2, like he's still Debo Samuel, guys. Pittman, I love. Higgins, I like. Like if he was deeper at wide receiver, I would even say like Ann has a chance. I don't think he does. Baker, Brissett, Daniel Jones is just too terrible. But other than that, CMC, Josh Jacobs, Mark Andrews, like he's definitely got some guys. And then Schooler. I mean, it's
you need to go in there and get CMC or Jacobs away from this guy before Rish does it.
Yeah. Even Pollard would help. Yeah.
How many firsts do you have stacked up? If you're moving Lamb, you don't have a whole lot. Oh, my cat is back.
Oh, I'm not moving fucking Lamb. You can forget about that shit. I'll go down with DeAndre Swift then. Yeah, and then Schooler just.
Well, I'm just saying, what have you got that you could turn into? I don't think you've got much that you can turn into CMC unless it's a bunch of picks.
I got 2 firsts in there next year in 2 seconds.
You can move Laporta or Garrett Wilson to try and get to that kind of value.
I'm not gonna fucking do that, Ben. Get real, man. All right.
Well, both those guys are really hard to acquire.
Yeah. I'll see. That's a good idea. I will do a flyby on him on those running backs and see what he says. He's probably gonna fucking tell me to eat the pea from a dick, but that's fine. And yeah, so now to do the YouTube thing. What do you guys think about our rankings and about our commentary? Be sure to let us know in the comment section that we should
like and subscribe down below.
That we should EAD and Lou likes Swift this season. He says in the live chat. So fuck you, Ben.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Okay.
I like Swift. I just don't like him as my RB1 in fantasy.
No, I traded. Bronc gave me a deal that I just couldn't refuse. He offered me Marvin Mims and a 25 third and a 26 second for Aaron Jones. And this is when we thought that the Packers might cut him. We didn't realize that he would then wind up as the starting running back in Minnesota. And couldn't pass that up. Not that Aaron Jones necessarily would have saved me here, but yeah,
it wouldn't hurt.
Swift Demont is probably fine. It's probably fine. I've probably got 2 top 24 running backs there, which, you know, as long as everything else goes right, I should have at least 2 elite quarterbacks. I should have at least 2 elite wide receivers, and I've got Laporta. Like, I should be fine as long as the running backs don't fuck me. Like, my team was bad in here my team had a bad record in here last year, but I caught like 4 of the first 6 high scores of the week. Like, I just had a lot of really bad luck. My team is really not bad. So,
well, you do have a solid running back group to give you points every week. I'm not trying to say it's garbage or anything. I just you have more faith in your depth at wide receiver than I do. So that's probably where I have a harder time putting you in the top 3.
Siwat, Shaheed, Bateman, Coleman.
It's not terrible. I like all those guys. I just don't like all of them that high.
Somebody's going to do something.
Siwat as a wide receiver 3 for me doesn't work.
I think it's perfectly fine. And that plus some other upside guys like Coleman, like Bateman, like Shaheed, like somebody's going to do something. Tillman. I might be starting Cedric Tillman for all we know. Shit, man.
You might be.
In a good way, not in a bad way. In a good way.
You could be starting him in a bad way too.
That's not that. I don't want to focus on that. I want to focus on what I said. All right. Well, we said we get it done quick and dirty, and we got the dirty part anyway. All right.
Oh shit! This was our longest one yet.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. It's been a lot of fun. We got 3 comments in the live stream, and one of them was Ben, so that's awesome. And we'll be back with M1 in like a year, 8 months. Yeah. Be good.
Yeah.
All right.
Hope
folks.
it was worth the wait.
Be good. Yeah, I hope you're clamoring. You're clamoring for it for days, only for nobody to show up. Very cool. Great. Whatever. Wonderful. All right. See y'all in hell. Bye-bye.
Bye.